I wanted to say thanks to the staff, Ashley and Pat, Michelle, Carla, Carrie, Lori, and everybody else who's assisted, the volunteers and the students and the Student Foundation Board, and you guys. Obviously, it's an awesome thing to put this together, and everybody's got chairs and tables and drinks, and so they've done a good job. So can you give them a hand for tonight? Also want to say in advance thanks to Angela, who's going to be emceeing tonight's banquet. I've done that in the past, and it's, at least for me, it's stressful because my microphone never works. But just kidding, guys, just kidding. But anyway, she's going to do a phenomenal job. She did last year, so thank you. I'm going to pray, and then we're going to eat. So if you would, bow your heads with me. Lord, we thank you for giving us this wonderful opportunity to come together on this beautiful campus with this wonderful weather today, God, that you've ordained for us to be here, Lord. And I'm thankful, we're all thankful for those being honored tonight, God, for their achievements, Lord, for the things that they've done, their time when they were here, their time since. And God, we pray a blessing over this food tonight, Lord, that you bless it to our nourishment, and that you give us all safe travel the rest of this weekend, and give us a blessed night, Lord. In your name we pray. Amen. And here in just a second, everybody will be able to line up for food. We're going to start here with Angela's table, and then we'll just kind of fan out across the room, and you can line up over there, and they'll have everything you need. And if you need any assistance, or if you need food brought to you, just find somebody with a name tag, and staff will take care of that for you. Did I miss anything? Okay. All right, so we'll go ahead and start here, and we'll work our way across. And again, it's great to have each and every one of you here tonight.
That's a good story.
Good evening. Please feel free to continue to eat. We're going to go ahead and continue the evening. My name is Rich Dunsworth, and I'm proud to serve the University of the Ozarks as our president. Welcome to the 2015 Alumni Awards Banquet and inductions into the Sports Hall of Fame. Tonight is poised to be a wonderful event as we welcome alumni, award recipients, alumni board, trustees, colleagues, and friends to this amazing place. We're going to start this evening with the Sports Hall of Fame. The Sports Hall of Fame at Ozarks has recognized over 50 individuals since the program began in 1990. I'm honored to be here to announce the 2015 Sports Hall of Fame inductees, as well as to recognize our past Sports Hall of Fame inductees, many of whom are with us today. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the University of the Ozarks Sports Hall of Fame selection process, which is held every 2 years. The Hall of Fame committee accepts nominations throughout the year from alumni as well as the general public. An athlete is eligible for nomination into the Hall of Fame 10 years after graduating from Ozarks. Those nominations are reviewed, and the committee and current members of the University Sports Hall of Fame select the new inductees based on their athletic or coaching achievements. The Sports Hall of Fame committee is made up of 8 members. Jimmy Clark, the Director of Athletics, Josh Pepis, the Sports Information Director, Ashley Center, the Director of Alumni Relations, Larry Ish, the Director of Public Relations, Andrew Cummings, representing the Student Athlete Advisory Council, Penny Burns, representing the Sports Hall of Fame membership, Ian Bryan, representing the Alumni Association, and Sonia McEwen, representing the alumni at large. If any of those members, I know some are able to be here, some are not, if members of the selection committee are with us, please stand and be recognized. At this time, I would like to introduce and welcome to the stage Dr. Angela Spencer, class of 1998, Treasurer of the Alumni Board of Directors and Assistant Professor of Accounting at Oklahoma State University, and Mr. Matt Torok, the Assistant Athletic Director and head men's soccer coach. Athletic Director Jimmy Clark is unable to be with us today because he also serves as the head men's baseball coach. and baseball is on the road. Angela and Matt will help me with the two honorees. Our first inductee into the University of the Ozarks Sports Hall of Fame this evening is Alicia Haney Skinner, women's basketball forward and 1995 accounting graduate. Alicia, please join us. I'd like to share just a few of her accolades with you. Alicia was a women's basketball forward. She was the Arkansas Intercollegiate Conference All-Freshman Team in 1991-92. She received honorable mention All-AIC in 93-94. She was All-AIC in 94-95. She was a leader in career rebounds with 892. She had career assists of 425. She ranks 9th in career scoring at 1,239 points. She averaged 10.6 points, 7.6 rebounds, and 3.1 assists per game. She helped the 1993-94 team to a program best of 26-6, and she led Ozarks to a 74-42 record during her career. Currently, she works at Bridgestone Americas in the Russellville as a sales and marketing manager, and she's joined today by her husband Terry and their daughter Audrey. Please congratulate her as the newest inductee.
Thank you very much. This is an incredible honor for me. And I got to say that my basketball skills outweigh my public speaking skills, so please be patient. You know, I had an amazing experience when I was at the U of O. I had an opportunity to play with some talented women, and more than that, just really smart, strong women. And I developed a lot of relationships, and those are still intact today. I had the chance to earn the accounting degree, and I feel like I was taught by the best faculty in the state. There's truly a commitment by the faculty to the students. I can tell you that over the last 20 years, I've been out in the community, and Ms. Taylor has come up to me, and she has said, hello, Alicia, how are you? How's your family? I've been out to dinner with colleagues and had Mr. Walker come up to me and ask me how I'm doing, leave this meal and come up and say, how are you? And that's really special, and it means a lot. I'd like to recognize my basketball coach. He's here tonight, my high school coach. Thank you very much for all that you did for me, for the time you invested in me, your leadership. You know, you taught me how to play basketball, and without you, I would not have earned that scholarship. My family, my friends are here to support me tonight, and that is an example of the type of encouragement and support I've had my entire life. I love my parents very much. My mom, my dad, Connie, Bud, you mean everything to me. And to my little girl, Audrey, you are the most special little girl. I love being your mom. Thank you.
Our second inductee into the University of the Ozarks Sports Hall of Fame is Ricky Ferreira, a 2004 Business Administration graduate and men's soccer forward. Ricky, please join me. Ricky was a four-time American Southwest Conference All-East Division first team. He was a three-time All-ASC selection in 2000, 2002, 2003. He was the ASC East Division Preseason Player of the Year in 2002. He was the Offensive Freshman of the Year for 2000. He was a National Soccer Coaches Association of America All-Region in 2002 and 2003. He was a two-time academic all-district in 2002 and 2003, three-time ASC all-academic team 2001, 2002, and 2003. He was the ASC's leading goal scorer with 54 goals, making him our program leader as well with those same 54 goals. He ranks third at Ozarks in career points with 128. He's fifth in career assists with 20, third in career shots with 205. He's the program leader in career game-winning goals of 14. He led the 2003 team to the ASC title and the school's only NCAA Division III tournament appearance. I believe he's got the jewelry to prove that one. I think I noticed as he walked up. He's a 2004 graduate in business administration degree. He's a patrol sergeant with the New Mexico State Police. And Ricky is joined today by his wife, Leslie, and his three children, Liam, Nadia, and Abe. Please welcome him as the newest inductee.
I didn't memorize my speech. First of all, I'd like to say good evening, and I'd like to start off by thanking all the U of O staff that made this night possible, especially the alumni office for answering the millions of questions that me and my wife had. As I stand here before all you guys today, I still can't come up with words to describe how honored I am to receive this award. So many people helped me along the way, and it's hard to come up with a list to thank them all. So I thought I'd tell you the story of how basically I came to U of O and I'm standing here today. I'd like to start off, you stand here today, thanking my club soccer coach, Mark Aguirre. For so many years, he drove me and my teammates around the whole southwest part of the state, taking us from tournament to tournament. Many of us couldn't afford it, so he'd pay out of his own pocket. But probably the most important thing he did for me was he convinced me to go to a soccer camp at Regis University in Colorado. I'd gone the year before and I didn't really like it, but so he wanted me to go again. And he finally convinced me to do it, which I'm glad he did, because if he weren't, I wouldn't have been standing here before you guys today. During this camp is where I met Coach David Hart. He just signed up to coach at U of O, and obviously he's one of the next person I want to thank for everything he did for me. At that camp, as I got to know Dave, I learned more about his knowledge and his love and passion for the game, which, second to my brother Dave, I've never seen it. He's about one of the most intimidating people, but he's so passionate about it that it makes you want to do better for him. During that camp, I decided I wanted to play for him. At the end of the camp, I decided to pretty timidly approach him. I was pretty shy and not very outgoing back then, but I asked him at the end of the camp, and I said to him, Dave, if you were a college soccer coach, he quickly interrupted me and said, I am a soccer coach, a college soccer coach. which made me even more nervous to ask him if he'd be interested in me playing for him. I was relieved when he said yes, and at that point he had one of the other alumni soccer players, Phil Kaiser, with him at the camp, assisting him. And he said that they were just talking about me the night before and how I could be a good fit for the program. So he gave me all the contact information, and I pretty quickly, so when I got back to Las Cruces, I contacted the office and they sent me a couple packets. When I decided to come to U of O, I didn't do any commitment ceremonies or anything. I just signed up to come pre-register. I hadn't done any research on campus or the town of Clark, so I knew nothing about this place. All I knew is that I wanted to play with Coach D. Hart. So me and my mom made the trip up here. The night before we stayed in Russellville. And when we woke up the next morning, we started driving into town. The first thing I noticed was the population sign in Cogswell, 4,588. My first thought was, oh no. And then I pulled up to the campus and I saw the size, and again I said, oh no. I probably should have done some research. But I met with Dave, and again I felt more assured of my decision to really kind of blindly follow him to Arkansas, 15 hours away from my family, my home. And pretty much at that point, I really had no idea that it would be the best decision I ever made. I was a little nervous coming to U of O because I wasn't a very good student. So I knew it was a tough academic school. But again, Bill, being the voice of reason, told me that as long as I went to class, I would get C's. I was talking probably should have said C's get degrees, but anyways, so I followed his advice. I never really was big on skipping school, so going to class was easy. And then I talked to all my teachers. One of my first teachers I kind of had spent a lot of time with was Amy Otis. She was teaching a remedial writing class. She's the next person I'd like to thank. Like I said, I wasn't a very strong student, so when I got here, Amy had a little bit of a reputation with the athletes as being a tough teacher for the kids, only because we're out of class so much. So I took the advice of Bill and I met with her. And I told her my soccer schedule, and I told her in a certain month we were always going to be gone every Friday, so I was only going to be in class Monday and Tuesday, which she was fine with. I submitted many reports to her, and many of them got butchered with her red pen. Really, I met with her, literally I would meet with her 4 or 5 times before I turned in a paper. But I didn't really know that I didn't know back then that the time I spent with her would make me a standout rookie officer in the Mexico State Police. I quickly became an officer that a lot of my supervisors recognized as a good report writer. And they'd often send rookie and older officers to me for advice on how to improve with the reports or to catch them up on reports. And now as a supervisor with the Mexico State Police, I use pretty much everything I learned throughout my business. All my business classes, all the lessons I learned. I always use Mr. Wofford's quote of, there's two guarantees in life, you're born and you die. But everything I learned here served me well. Next, I'd like to take all my teammates. So all right here at the table right there. Nick and Taylor came to Ozarks with me at the same time. We pretty much spent 4 years together looking around, and I won't speak of some of the crimes we did around campus. But really, I'm up here because of my teammates. All 4 years I had several different teammates, and each one of them played a role in my success. We shared a lot of pain and sadness when we lost, but we also shared in the glory of victory. There's so many memories that I have from playing soccer here that I still remember them. I remember them like they were yesterday. Like for example, when Chris Burns got kicked out of our soccer band on a trip to Mary Hardin Brainerd because we started mosh pitting in the band when the 3-6 Mafia song came out. I'm not going to name it because it has some bad words. Or when we got woken up at 4 in the morning, piled up our classmates crashing into our dorm room screaming and telling us to get dressed and then throwing us in the back of a pickup truck and driving out of town. We really didn't know where we were going. Ended up that we were just running up the hill to 1,000 points of light. But the most important memory I have is the excitement of making it to the conference championship my freshman year. it was something the soccer team had never experienced. And after being at the bottom of the conference for several years, it was an awesome experience for me to be able to be one of the reasons that we were there, and for the upperclassmen that worked so hard for years to get there. After that, winning became the norm for the men's soccer team, and I've always been proud to just be one of the building blocks to make that happen. I'd like to thank my family. My oldest brother, Diego, who's not present today, but he was always the person I looked up to. Being the oldest brother, I looked up to him, both on and off the soccer field. My sister, Alma, who's not here either today, to make the trip, but she's the one that kept us online and helped me out with school. My brother Mario, who is here today. He's my best friend and one of my biggest supporters. And of course, my mom. I can never thank you enough for everything you sacrificed to help me succeed in soccer, but also in life. My mom and my brother Mario are here again tonight. So thank you, and I love you. Finally, I'd like to thank the person that was there for everything, all 4 years. And other than my family, at that point, was always one of my biggest supporters. My wife Leslie, wherever she is, holding the baby. Leslie played for the U of O women's soccer team, so it made it a lot easier for her to be there for every game. But I'm pretty confident that she would have been there regardless of that fact. She's always there for the highs and for every low. And after 14 years and 3 beautiful children, one who is somewhere crying or in the bathroom, she's still my biggest supporter. And for that, I can never thank her enough. Wherever you are, Leslie, I love you. Thank you guys. Have a good evening.
At this time, we would like to recognize our other Sports Hall of Fame members who are here tonight. Please stand as able when I call your name. Johnny Johnson, coaching at Ozarks from 1990 to 2001. Lonnie Qualls, 1955, 29-year career at Ozarks, football and coaching. Bill Crowder, coach, attended Ozarks 1952 to 56. Ted Young, baseball at Ozarks 1952 to 1958. Billy Bach, baseball, attended from 1954 to 1958. Representing Billy this evening is his daughter Kelly. Bob Chance, basketball, 1965 to 1969. And then John Hensley, men's basketball, 1983-84. If I did not call your name, please give me the opportunity to apologize now and stand and let me know you're here. But I think we got all of the Hall of Famers. Wonderful. Alicia and Ricky, the plaques that you received is identical to plaques hung in the lobby of Mabee Physical Education Center. At the conclusion of this evening, I invite both of you and your families to join me, go over and unveil the permanent plaques. At this time, I'd like to turn over the podium to Angela as she will present the Alumni Awards.
Well, next, we would like to recognize the recipient of our Faculty Enrichment Award. And so the recipient of this $2,000 award was selected by the Alumni Board of Directors through careful consideration. Of course, we've heard Alicia and Ricky, and we all know Ozarks faculty are very special. And so the criteria for this award, because we love to recognize the faculty, are they want to show merit and follow the university mission and goals while enriching the lives of faculty members and students. And this year's recipient epitomizes what makes Ozark faculty great. She's always available to help her students in the science department, where she specializes in environmental science and science education. And when she's not in the science building, she's likely on her farm, where she takes her love of science home in the form of gardening and raising animals, all organically. And this faculty member has found a way to bring her love of students and gardening together with a campus community garden. And so this is located on campus, and it's funded in part by this Faculty Enrichment Award. So please join me in congratulating Dr. Kim Besboy, our 2015 Faculty Enrichment Award recipient.
I'm still a little choked up over Ricky's talk. I want to say thank you very much to the Alumni Association. Having a campus garden has always been a dream of mine, and it wasn't anything that I thought would ever come about until our new president said to me, "How come you haven't already done that?" And I thought, "Oh, right, how come I haven't?" So, President Denver, thank you very much for that great idea. Thank you also to our provost who allowed me to include this idea in my curriculum and to develop a sustainable agriculture class. To my sustainable agriculture students, 14 of the hardest working students I know, if you want to congratulate them, they're the one with the sunburn down here. The grant community
To congratulate them,
Thank you for congratulating my students. They really are wonderful. We started with a Bermuda grass lawn, and it now has vegetables growing. It's pretty amazing. The award that you gave us allowed us to purchase lots of tools, lots of equipment, lots of seeds. It really did make this a possibility, and it's going to go on for a long time, I think. We decided that we're going to split our produce 3 ways. A third of it will go to all the folks who volunteer, not just folks in the class who aren't really volunteers, they're slaves. But the other students, we've had lots and lots of students and staff on campus come and help us working in the garden, so that produce, a third of it will be available to them. A third of it is going to go to the local school backpack program. Arkansas sadly ranks last in food security across the nation. We have over 100 backpacks that go home on weekends to our local students to help provide food. And so we're going to share some of the vegetables from our garden with those backpack recipients. And lastly, we're going to be selling a third of it in the local farmers market to help continue the stream to continue for a very long time. So thank you very much.
Next, we have a new award created by the Alumni Board this year. And so this is one I'm personally very excited about because we wanted to create this award to try to establish or reconnect connections with our faculty or staff or people who administer our groups with alums that maybe, life's gotten in the way, they've been a little removed from Ozark. So that's kind of the idea behind this award. So it is also $2,000, and it aims at finding a way to bring alums back to campus in new and exciting ways. And we hope it's going to make a difference in students' lives at the same time. This year, we are able to do so through the softball program. So Coach Lori Atkins has enhanced relationships between former and current softball players, including the development of an alumni weekend series, a newsletter, and a contact information database. And she said in her proposal that this is an opportunity to make our team better by being better connected to our alumni and involving them in the program that they worked so hard to build. The program is also proving to be a success, as they had this year, last month. alumni softball games at the end of March. And she is here to accept the award. So please join me in congratulating and recognizing Coach Atkins.
Well, God's working with us. We were supposed to be in Tyler, Texas today, so, but since it's apparently raining there today and tomorrow, we got to be here. I was kind of lamenting that we wouldn't be here, so I'm glad to be here. I have to thank the Alumni Association. I have to thank all those who made this award available and who awarded it to us. This is something I really wanted to do from the very moment I stepped on campus. We had an alumni game the very first year, and we were always having to fill in for alumni that wasn't there. And there seemed to be have become a disconnect just because of the distance, I think, or the time that some of the alums had gotten away from the program. So I'm very excited to be able to utilize this to reconnect the program with its roots and the players of years past with the program of today. We have been working really hard at building a competitive program, and with this grant we've been able to bring alums into games. We've had a softball alumni weekend where they all got shirts and they came, and we had the best turnout that we've had since I've been here for an alumni game. And we want to continue to keep that ball rolling so that our program will be enriched by all of the alumni of the program being there and still being involved with the program of today. So you might pass the word around. We have some really cool shirts, some dry fit shirts that we're trying to lure alumni in with, but alums that come to our current games, our home games, we will give them each a dry fit shirt that says University of Ozarks Softball Alumni. And our girls over here, I want to thank the softball team that we have now. They worked hard with me and they put up with me every day, so that's 50% of the battle right there. I want to thank Scott Ibis, who has done a lot of the research on this. He's reconnected us using Facebook and Twitter, and he continues to keep those social media avenues up and running, and we'll be adding Instagram to that. Due to this grant, we've been able to put in extra hours on that, get the shirts, and we're really excited about the future of it. I didn't know it was a trailblazer though. This is first year for this award? Wow. I feel even more special. So, and we worked in Kim's garden too, so we're looking forward to that. Yeah, we worked in the garden. There was a lot of Bermuda grass in that garden. Thank you.
Well, this is the first year of that award, but it is something we hope to continue. So I want to suggest to all of you, if there's a way that you can envision that other alums might become reconnected with the university, it could be through a team, an organization, a department on campus, maybe suggest that to a faculty or staff member so they can apply for this award as well, because we hope that's something we can continue long into the future. Well, our next award is the Young Alumni Service Award. And so to receive this award, the alum needs to be active in alumni activities and demonstrate loyalty to the university. And so this year's award recipient was actually here this weekend last year. And so he participated in the Alumni Weekend as part of the More Than a Paycheck lecture series and the Walton Arts and Ideas lecture series. And he discussed how Ozarks molded his life and led him to the success he sees today as the director of the Climate Reality Project's Leadership Core program, where he is responsible for the strategic design of international training led by former U.S. Vice President Al Gore. And so, this is, a big deal. And so he convenes high-level influencers and decision makers. And this year's award, Young Alumni Service Award recipient is Mario Molina, and he is a member of my class, 98. And he could not attend today's award banquet as he is out of the country traveling for work. And I will say, Mario is great. You met Mario, he's just a fabulous human being. But Mario is a fine example of the fact that you can have maybe a little too much fun in college and still go on to do very great things. So, since Mario is not here, receiving the award on his behalf is Dr. Doug Jeffries.
very proud and honored to receive this award. He is out of the country today, is why he couldn't be here. He's out saving the world. But in a way, he is kind of here because I believe that the first gray hairs I ever got were due to Mario. So thank you very much for this award.
Okay, well, next we are honored to present the Alumni Achievement Award. And this award is given to one who achieves recognition in his or her chosen profession or occupation. And tonight we actually have two recipients of this award. So the first is an alum who thoroughly enjoyed his work doing something he loved while at Ozarks, and even before attending Ozarks, where he graduated in 1956. Baseball is his love. And our award recipient, Coach Bill Crowder, who of course you already have heard, is a member of the Hall of Fame, went on to earn a master's degree from U of A after graduating from Ozarks, and he was a longtime college baseball coach at Fort Smith. So he compiled a very impressive record of over 1,000 wins in 33 years of coaching at Westark, which of course is now UA Fort Smith. And he also held coaching positions at Springdale and Ozark High School. And as you've already heard, he is a member of the Hall of Fame, the NJCAA Baseball Coaches Association National Hall of Fame, and UA Fort Smith Sports Hall of Fame. He has also written numerous publications, including Successes More Than Wins, and he currently serves on the U of O Alumni Board of Directors and lives in Fort Smith with his wife, Jean. They have 2 children, 5 grandchildren, and they have a new great-grandson. So let's join me in, recognizing Coach Crowder.
President, college, and First Lady of the college, your staff, staff members, we see a lot of the people who prepared the food in this great day we've had here at the college, or University of Ozarks, but it's been a great pleasure for me to learn the things that we learn here under people like Fritz Aaron and Coach Coon. And we've had a lot of success depending on our families. My family is here. My grandkids are here. I'm proud of them. My wife is a great fan. She tries to help coach every once in a while, but we kind of get that straightened out pretty quick. But it is a great honor. This is a great institution. It's not a 2x4 educational institution. If you know what a 2x4 is, it means the cover between the textbooks and the wall that surrounds it. Education is a whole lot more than just that, and we see that continuing on under your leadership, Mr. President, and we hope it continues. I've met so many people in my coaching career. You don't have the time to listen to all that. I'm not going to go through all that. But we've had a lot of things that we find that's very important. Education became the first thing that we look for in my career. Dr. Aaron, or Fritz Aaron, as we call him, Coach Aaron, asked me to be his assistant when I was about a junior or senior here. But we had a great time. I had a great friend's job with this. We also had an opportunity to be the first coach out in Ozark High School in 1956, head football and basketball. Stayed there 3 years, signed 4, but Fritz moved to Springdale and he called me and wanted to know if I wanted a job. And I wanted to get close to the university to work on additional degrees and also at Orchard Institution. And also, that is where I met my wife in this June. I'm not going to say the date, 27th. Will be the 54th year. Fritz Aaron was the man that introduced us at Springdale, and she's been a great supporter. My family's been a great supporter. No one can succeed without the help of so many. And I could stand here and talk all night about the people that's helped me in my area. I always try to get youngsters to come to the College of the Ozarks. We had them to go to many places, not only to major colleges, but also to the different organizations of pro baseball and signing. But I wanted them to come down, and many of them could, to Coach Qualls. Coach Qualls was a guy that I had great friendship with, and a man I know that would treat those kids like they need to be treated and give them a good opportunity to play under a man with a lot of character. And that's what we need today, in my opinion, in our coaching profession, that we need people that has some concern about the youngsters' character, a certain concern about a youngster's ability to get an education and get out in the world and make a living for the family. That is probably the greatest thing. I could have moved into education administration very quickly. If something told me, like my wife, we discussed this, but there was a higher power told me, this is not what you need to be doing. I had opportunities to move to other places, a larger institution, but something would tell me, this is not what you need to do. So I stayed with it. I never had a day in my life, in my teaching and coaching career, that I hated to go to work. I never hated it. 42 years, I look forward. I don't care if we come in off of a road trip at midnight out of Oklahoma or wherever we've been. I didn't have a class till 9 o'clock. I enjoyed the classroom, by the way, as well. But I was in the office at 8 o'clock the next morning. I could have probably slept in. I'm not a sleep-in guy. I think you need to get up and move. Now that I'm getting older, I don't sleep in either. I wake up a whole lot earlier. 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So some of you older people can get that. But I want to say this. I know that we're for time now. Life's greatest wealth lies not in the luxury of gold, but into the memories of good old times with friends. And I think that is a great thing. I've met a lot of great people in my time. I was on the stage with a large banquet with Tommy Lasorda. What a motivator he was. I talked to Bernie Grimes, and if you want to look on your smartphone, that's the guy that was charged throwing the first football in the major leagues when he was the New York Yankees. So I've had a lot of experience and around a lot of people. Wally Moon, a great friend, and we worked a lot together. Bill Clark, and I talked to your new man here. We used to play. I played baseball in college and coached it, and we had a little chat after this morning's session. We knew some of the same people. Like Bill Clark, a scout out of Missouri. We had people that would come, and scouts really helped us. Scouts really helped us. They kind of liked our program a little bit, and you can see why, because I don't know of any other single sport, men's sport or ladies' sport, that's a team sport, that one person can't dominate the whole mess. And that's a guy that throws it about 60 feet, about 5 inches. And I tell you what, you try to recruit those type of people, because we were on the downside. Well, I had 9 years of coaching in public schools, football, basketball. I had 13 years of basketball. The first 2 years I was at the University, Fort Smith Junior College, I coached both sports. And we had New Year's Day off and Christmas Day off. And I found out my youngsters were beginning to play in the high schools and junior highs. And I'd tell my wife, I said, one of these I'm going to have to give up. So I thought maybe coaching baseball was a great thing, because it's a great sport. It's kind of not criticizing basketball, but it's a thinking man's sport. So I want to tell you this, the things you have to do. So these are some things, and I know that I could go on and talk, because, you know, I have a degree in political science as well. But when you get to the microphone, you may be running for something. And some people need to be running, but not for an office. So anyway, but I'm going to just leave this with you, and I appreciate the great work the Alumni Association has done. I enjoy working with those people. They're great people that can do some things, and I think we can increase our commitment, as we said, to the college, and get youngsters back here, because I want to tell you, it's a great place to get an education. Don't let anybody fool you I don't care how large the university may be. I don't care how many students they have, how many big cars they drive. You can come to this institution and get a very good, solid education. And we need people that come with character and get in our society and become leaders. So if we want to be a servant leader, we have to take it and put people ahead of us. We need to be stepped back behind and put them out front. Not thinking about ourselves, but thinking about them. And I'm from the old school of discipline. And if you don't have discipline, you don't have anything. And these are the ways we try to run our club, our classrooms. I know I had a youngster, not a baseball player, I taught the health field there too as well. That I said, if you come in here wearing a baseball cap, the roof has to be leaking. If it's not leaking, you don't wear the cap in the basement in the classroom. And if the party bell rings, baby, the door's locked. Son, you're absent. You need to learn to be where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be, and honor that. And that's exactly the way we try to run our program. And I also said we will cut our hair, because when I tell you something, I want you to be able to hear. I want you to hear. These are things I think are very, very important. I think we need more of that today in our society, and I guarantee you read and keep up with all the things that's going on in this world. We need young people that are graduating from here and other colleges that have said to take the role of leadership. Leadership is what it's all about. Well, I'm going to just make one more statement. It's like the old farmer said one time, if the water is run enough, you've got to learn to turn loose other pumps. Thank you very much for all that.
Well, our next reward recipient, and this will be given posthumously, and this is in honor of Colonel Ernest Lee Mac McDaniel Jr. He graduated from Ozarks in 1940 and was a multi-sport standout. After college, he attended infantry school as well as the Command and General Staff College as part of the National Guard. He went on to serve his country in the U.S. military for more than 30 years. And at the time of his death, he was a plans officer with the Arkansas National Guard. McDaniel and his wife and his widow Jean have 2 children, James Lee and Mary Elizabeth. And accepting the 2015 Alumni Achievement Award on her late husband's behalf is Mrs. Jean McDaniel. Please join me in welcoming Mrs. McDaniel.
I'm so honored to be here tonight to accept this on behalf of my late husband, Ernest McDaniel. Our children are here with me, Betsy from Washington, D.C., and Jim from Dallas, Texas. Mac would be so honored and surprised to receive this Alumni Achievement Award. Please know how special it is to us. Mac died when he was only 48, and our children were 12 and 13. But to this day, he's still a giant in our memory. He was the best at everything he did, whether serving his country or officiating a junior high school game, a high school game, or an AIC athletic event. He was the best son, husband, and father. He joined the National Guard in 1936 and graduated from the College of the Ozarks in 1940. Mac's father was a teacher in Johnson County and was so proud of his son's education. In his 31 years of military service, Mac was in campaigns and battles in the Aleutians, Normandy, Northern France, Rhineland, and the occupation. He was the recipient of numerous military decorations and citations, including the Combat Infantry Badge, Bronze Star, and Purple Heart for wounds received during the breaching of Germany's Siegfried Line. After the war, Matt returned to Clarksville to serve as assistant to the men's athletic department at this university. Later, he moved to Little Rock to work with the American Legion, joining the Arkansas Military Department in 1951. He rose to the rank of colonel and served as assistant adjutant general under Governor Cherry. He served until his untimely death in this position. In that capacity, he worked with many local disaster relief efforts, including a tornado right here in Clarksville, and with the Secret Service when President Kennedy came to dedicate the dam up at Greer's Ferry. In her book, Crisis at Central High, Elizabeth Huckabee, Vice Principal for Girls in 1957, tells of meeting Mac when he commanded a National Guard battalion. She wrote, "It is always a pleasure to see a man's decision and force of character at work, and such a man was Colonel McDaniel. The only other place I have seen him is as an official on a football field, but this one morning I felt he was a man I would like to have around in any crisis that called for action." This gives you a true picture of my husband, whose moral fiber equaled his 6'2" stature. On behalf of Mac and our family, thank you so much for this award and distinguished honor from his alumni. Thank you.
Now, onto the Alumni Merit Award. This award is given to an alum for meritorious work done for the university. This year's recipient is Jimmy Powell from the class of 1974. Powell graduated from Ozarks with a degree in business administration, began a career with the Department of Justice Federal Bureau of Prisons soon after graduation, and continued to work for the federal prison system for the remainder of his 33-year professional career. Among the positions he held included the Deputy Bureau Personnel Director in Washington, D.C., Regional Human Resource Manager and Director of the Bureau's Staff Training Academy in Georgia, and the Director of Management and Specialty Training Center in Aurora, Colorado. He received both the Director's Special Recognition Award for his leadership in the activation of the Consolidated Employee Service Center and the Director's Meritorious Service Medal, which is the highest award the agency can give to an employee. Powell is now retired and lives on Lake Toledo Bend Reservoir in East Texas with his wife, Rose. Unfortunately, he is unable to be here tonight, but he has sent family to receive the award on his behalf. So let's all welcome Jimmy's nephew, Scott Sutton.
Good evening. I'm here to accept this award on behalf of my uncle, Jimmy Powell. Now, he wrote this speech and sent it to me, and he told me that if I messed this up or changed it in one way, word, shape, or form, he would kill me. So all of you who know him out there, please lie when you talk to him and tell him that I didn't change his speech, even though I did. I'm both honored and humbled to be receiving this prestigious award. I sincerely regret that I'm unable to be with you tonight. As my nephew reads this to you, I'm in Belize, but my thoughts and heart are with you. I hazard to think how my life might have turned out if it were not for the University of the Ozarks. I was a C average student in high school, and I was more interested in playing football than studying. I had only a few dollars saved from working summer jobs, but the U of O accepted me into their work-study program. In my freshman year, I washed pots and pans in the cafeteria to help pay my tuition, room, and board. During my junior and senior year, the university worked with me to arrange my classes on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so I could work Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday in a factory. When I arrived at the U of O, I was an 18-year-old small town country boy from Dyer, Arkansas, And if any of you can find Dyer, Arkansas, whip out your phone and tell me where it's at. Okay? Attending the U of O exposed me to students from foreign countries, students with learning and physical disabilities, and even some Yankees from New York and Ohio. I soon learned that everyone did not look like me, act like me, or even think like me. I was beginning to get an education in and outside of the classroom, which would serve me well as I climbed the ladder to a top management positions. Dr. James Barrett, chairman of the business department, saw some potential in me and took me under his wing. I became the Arkansas State President of Phi Beta Lambda, a national business fraternity, placed third in the nation in their extemporaneous speaking competition, that's a big word, doesn't it? And ended up graduating with a 3.24 GPA. Since retiring, I've served as a judge for the Arkansas State Phi Beta Lambda competition and enjoy seeing that the University of Ozark students still winning honors. I chose government service as my career, and while working as a human resource manager, I earned my MBA degree from East Texas State University. Dr. Perret invited me to speak about careers in government through some of his business class, which I enjoyed tremendously doing. I also worked with Dr. Perret in hiring 3 of U of O business students into paid summer internship programs. After a very successful career now, I'm retired and living the dream on a large lake in East Texas. My wife, Dr. Rose Powell, and I enjoy traveling Europe and cruising the Caribbean. However, if the University of Ozarks had not given me the opportunities they did, I would probably still be working somewhere saying, "Would you like fries with that, ma'am?" Again, thank you for honoring me, and thank you all for your support of my uncle when he was here, and the support the faculty gave him, the alumni gave him. It is because of him that I even have a job today. So thank you, University of the Ozarks. A great place and a great university.
Well, this year we are honoring 2 alums with the Alumni Legacy Award. And so this is given to an alum who has given unselfishly of his or her resources to support the university and its mission during his or her lifetime. And the first is Mrs. Charlene Watson.
I get the honor of accepting Charlene's award. I had the opportunity to meet her this last year down in her home in Texas. I'm proud to accept the award on Charlene Watson's behalf. She wanted you to know that she's so sorry to miss Alumni Weekend, but due to some health issues, she's unable to travel and is thanking all of us with much love. Charlene McMillan Watson has loved the University of Ozarks since her graduation in 1944. She majored in music, earned her master's degree in music education, and taught for 41 years. She married her late husband in our chapel on February 25th, 1947. The Reverend Dr. Wiley Lynn Curie officiated her wedding. She's given faithfully to scholarships at Ozarks every month for 30 years. Her checks are always accompanied by a sweet and thoughtful note. She knew the value of financial aid when she was a work-study student sweeping the halls and stairways of the science building, which was Curie Hall at the time. She's shown her love of Ozarks in so many ways over the years, attending alumni events and even recruiting students from Texas. I know that Charlene is honored by this award and wants to thank the Alumni Association. So thank you and thank the association on her behalf. We'll have the opportunity to present this to her in her home in the coming months.
On a personal note, I mean, thank God for people like Mrs. Watson. I mean, I know I came here on a scholarship. My sister's here with me. She's a graduate. She came here on a scholarship. I hope we all remember that, kind of pay it forward, because I'm sure many of us would not be here tonight were it not for people being generous like that. Well, our final recipient of the night, and this is also an Alumni Legacy Award winner, is a 1950 graduate of Ozarks. After Ozarks, he went on to a long and successful career as an oil and gas engineer. He is a former member of the university's Board of Trustees and is an active member in Clarksville First United Methodist Church, along with his wife, Ann. I've also been told that if you ever want a good ripe tomato, that his backyard is the place to be. So please join me in congratulating Jack Phillips, our 2015 Legacy Award winner.
Thank you very much. It's a highlight of my life to be here to accept this award. President Drummond, trustees present, faculty, staff, fellow alumni, friends, thank you for this award. I would like to share with your permission, if I can find my notes. First of all, I would like to introduce my guest here tonight. Our extended local family here, David and Katie Hanshaw. My grandson, John Jackson Phillips IV, a 2010, I'm who I was on the trustees at the time, and I presented him with his certificate, which was great. His friend, Shelby Haraway, raise your hand, Shelby. And my other guest, Bob Harrison, standing over here, he and I played basketball. We guarded each other for all the practices, didn't we, Bob? So, and the remaining guest is, and I quote, the goddess of my heart. She is the co-CEO of the family, the chief financial officer of the county, the mother of our 3 children, and a great lady, and we're having an anniversary today. We have an anniversary every day. Today is 61 years, 9 months, and 11 days. So, anyway, my wife, Ann, a flatlander from eastern Arkansas. With that, and your kind permission, I would like to take you on a few-minute journey from my 71-year relationship with the College of the Ozarks. I entered College of the Ozarks as a 16-year-old freshman in the year 1944, which I'm told was the smallest freshman class in its history. The Navy was here. We went to school in the Presbyterian Church. Incidentally, the tuition was $20 a quarter. We were on the quarter system, and 20 was tough to come by. But anyway, I looked up legacy in my wife's Crawford Puzzle Dictionary, and it had about 13 definitions there, so I got to choose, and the best one I could find for me and some of my peers over here was survivor. In 1944, the next year, I went 2 quarters, and joined the U.S. Navy. Thanks to the Veterans Entitlement Program, I had the opportunity to come to the University of the Ozarks, College of the Ozarks, and begin my career. I graduated in 1950, which was the largest graduating class, I believe, if memory serves. So there was a few highlights in my life during those things I'd have to share with you. First of all, we had a fellow named Frank Cole, and he and I were good friends, and they always had a who's who contest on the campus. And Frank Cole and I tied with 249 votes each for the most unhandsome man on the and we decided so nobody's candle would get blown out that we wouldn't ask for a recount. Harrison wound up runner-up for the most handsome man, I think. But anyway, you know, they have these profile things in the Arkansas or the Democrat Gazette. Everything about who your celebrity dinner would be with, you know? And I've completed 60% of that. And I put down Bob Harrison, Donald Steggs, John Douglas, Frank Cole, and Gerald Fisher. So with that, 3 of them were here present and we had lunch today. That's a highlight. One thing. I was supposed to have graduated in 1949, so I wouldn't have had the biggest, been in the largest class. The world literature was a required course. And I had a lady teacher called Miss Crump. Miss Crump saw fit to hold me over an additional semester, I think, because she didn't think I could interpret, wasn't proficient enough in interpreting the Chinese sonnets of Ling Po. So, I'm sure some of y'all will remember that. But, it's good being a survivor. My career, first of all, I left here in 1950 right after graduation. There wasn't any jobs here, so I went to Texas, and where we spent our working career. I loved my job. Couldn't find a rock to throw at a snake, though, down there. But anyway, we persevered, raised our family there. So thank God we got back to this special place right here in Johnson County in 1992. I made this comparison, which I'm sure some of you heard. I was 42 years in the wilderness, and I beat Moses' record 2 years. But Moses never got to see the promised land. With that, it's been a wonderful run. We enjoy it. I've been fortunate enough to be up here at the university, particularly since we've come back frequently. And one thing that I've seen in 71 years, we always had a thing, and we still have it, I think, in our family today. I'll ask my grandson about this. We've got, in 1944, Polite Society was in vogue. And every year I've been on this campus since 1944. That polite society is still here. I hope you keep it as a candle and a value here on this campus. And with that, you know, they've already got this last word. I'll just sum you up best, and it is blessed. Thank you very much for the honor. Appreciate it.
Again, look at that, they got the mic working for me this time. No, again, I wanted to say thanks to everybody who came tonight. And can we do one last round of applause for all tonight's recipients? Again, I wanted to say thank you to everybody in the advancement and alumni offices for putting this event together, as well as the entire alumni weekend. It's obviously going great. The attendance tonight is phenomenal. Thanks to everybody who helped, the university staff tonight. And thanks and congrats to President and Mrs. Dunsworth on a fabulous alumni weekend. It's going great, and I know tomorrow's fun-filled and packed with more great events for you all to attend and reconnect with friends and family. And two quick things we want to make note of is for all of our award recipients and the Sports Hall of Fame recipients that are here tonight, we'd like for you to meet, as soon as we dismiss, meet in this corner or that one. Right over there, see where Larry is? Larry's hand's up in the air. Have all of you meet over there, and they're going to take a group photo. And then again, I want to remind you for the Hall of Fame plaque unveiling will be after this in the gymnasium. So if you would please, we'd love to encourage you to attend for that as well. And I'm going to end us out. You come on up, bud. I'm going to close us out in prayer, and again, thank each of you for coming. It means so much to all the recipients tonight. Lord, we thank you for giving this university all the wonderful people who have passed through it, God. And for each one of us, we're thankful for our connection to this university. And God, we pray a blessing over each family that is here tonight. And we thank you for those that are able to attend and the award recipients. And Lord, we pray for a great night and a great rest of this weekend. And again, safe travels. And give us a great rest of our weekend. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen. Again, group photo back over there. And then the plaque unveiling will be in the gymnasium shortly. Thank you all for being here.
Just real quick, we want to say congratulations again to Alicia and Ricky, and they're going to pull it and unveil it, and off we go. Keep going.